Drama within large fandoms such as the furry community is fickle, with one controversy being swept away and replaced with the next, one after another, ad nauseum. But the drama surrounding the furry convention FreeFurAll has remained in popular consciousness, especially the political beliefs and scandalous personal life of its founder, PeaceWolf, who has found herself as a pariah in the furry community, alienated from the mainstream and scorned by her once loyal fanbase. So what caused PeaceWolf's dramatic immolation of herself and FreeFurAll?
Hello all, I'm gonna be at FreeFurAll this next year. The people there, they seem really friendly. The energy and commitment they have to making this convention happen, I really admire.
FreeFurAll means the freedom of, as a person or as a furry, to come and enjoy the great time, just like it used to be, without the judgment or the feeling of being name called or the fear.
We're all one big family of weirdos that love each other so much, and we are as excited as can be to bring FreeFurAll to fruition, no matter what.
FreeFurAll will be a place where you can go and enjoy yourself without fear of having somebody come back and tell you you're a horrible person for being you.
So I'm going to be there, I'm gonna meet some cool artists, I'm gonna spend some time talking with people who just like characters as much as I do. Hope I see you there.
And this to my right is the very lovely con mom, the very lovely PeaceWolf!
Wow. Is this really happening?
In 2019, a member of the furry community named PeaceWolf decided to seize the untapped market for a hotel furry convention in her hometown of Tulsa, Oklahoma. PeaceWolf founded and served as the head organizer of Toes and Tornadoes furry convention, though she had no prior experience.
I had done my research, okay? And by research, I mean I had Googled how to start a convention and read several multi-step articles about it. I managed to get past the fact that every single one of them started with a very simple statement that can be summarized into one word. Don't! Do not start a convention! You don't want to do this to yourself! Turn back now! Danger ahead! People are clearly excited for the event. They're telling their friends. Our staff has grown from a humble group of 10 people to a team of over 60.
During preparation for Toes and Tornadoes' return in 2020, the convention came under fire for their guest of honor, Ceremonies, who had publicly stated she believed being gay was a sin, and that living an LGBTQ+ lifestyle was a choice she didn't support. Though Ceremonies insisted she still loved gay people regardless. In response to the controversy, PeaceWolf advised Toes and Tornadoes staff to
ignore the haters. Tess did nothing wrong, and more importantly, we have an event to run.
An anonymous staffer replied, "Okay, I posted it cause a lot of people were disappointed in the comments." PeaceWolf responded,
If they can't deal with the fact that someone disagrees with them, then their money is no good at TTFC.
The result was a PR nightmare for Toes and Tornadoes, as the overwhelming majority of the furry community is LGBTQ+. Eventually, Ceremonies was replaced as guest of honor, and there was increased scrutiny towards PeaceWolf's status as con chair.
What is your least favorite thing about cons or
The drama.
The drama? Yeah.
Furries love drama, and that is so true. It is so painfully true. They'll take a story and just blow it completely out of proportion. I don't like dealing with it. No one likes dealing with it.
No drama. No more drama, guys. Don't do drama, okay?
Yeah.
PeaceWolf vacated her position as head of Toes and Tornadoes. While the official reasoning is unknown, her resignation triggered a number of people who claim to have met, associated with, or been friends with PeaceWolf to come forward with negative testimonies. One such former associate, known as Istanbul777, alleged on Twitter that PeaceWolf had fired them over a disagreement when Istanbul wanted to make a post for Pride Month, which PeaceWolf denied because she believed it did not align with the values of the staff. Another alleged associate, known as WikiWolf Studios, claimed that when they reported they had been groped during toes and tornadoes, PeaceWolf allegedly responded, "But you have a free hugs pin on you."
But remember, guys, fursuit does not equal consent. You need to make sure that they're okay with giving you a hug, they're okay with interacting with you.
PeaceWolf is a conservative libertarian Christian. She found herself at the front lines of the American culture wars. She was especially tired of cancel culture, writing,
"Call it what it really is. Straight up cyberbullying. It exists, and it's gotten way out of hand. Yes, people that do bad things should be punished, Captain Obvious, but people that simply disagree with you? Get over yourselves."
During the Black Lives Matter protest of 2020, PeaceWolf took to Twitter to proclaim,
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. 1. All lives matter. 2. The ultimate goal should be skin color blindness. 3. There is only one race. The human race. I've seen more racism in the last month than I've seen my entire life.
PeaceWolf's conservative beliefs soured her reputation in the furry community, and people claiming to know her came out against her. 2 black furries claimed she had referred to African Americans as colored and the blacks. The public backlash against PeaceWolf instilled a belief in her that conservative furries were being silenced by leftists.
Leftists can, for the most part, say whatever the F they feel like out in the open without fear. People on the right do not get the same courtesy. Change my mind. You won't.
PeaceWolf created a second Twitter account called PeaceWolf Rants. On this account, she would make a variety of offensive comments.
Nothing against trans folk. However, it's extremely apparent that an increasing number of people are labeling themselves as such solely for the attention and victimhood points. People will do anything for popularity. It's quite unnerving. Also, the way many of them act just reeks of high school kids jumping on the next fad to try to be cool.
PeaceWolf dug her heels into the ground and ceased caring how her outspoken conservative beliefs might alienate her followers.
If I had $1 for every person that tried to hurt me with, "I used to look up to you," yet no. You looked up to me when all I did was make content and had no voice. But now you're upset because our opinions are different. You never knew me. I owe you no apology.
Following the controversy, PeaceWolf was planning to volunteer at the annual Wild Nights Furry Campout, hosted by Mesa. PeaceWolf wrote,
I've been informed by Mesa leadership that the organization committee had, without warning, voted that I'm no longer allowed to serve as a volunteer. I was first told that it was because I had an online media presence, which seems like a pretty normal thing for someone to have. They then changed their answer to just, your services are no longer required, which is obviously not true.
Around this time, PeaceWolf posted a drawing of her persona, having been betrayed and stabbed a la Julius Caesar. PeaceWolf's husband, Fox Glove, elaborated in a YouTube comment that his wife was removed for appearing on the Raiders Ramble podcast, hosted by alt-furry organization, the Furry Raiders. Quote, when asked what exactly in the video they objected to, they refused to answer over and over again. What did she do wrong in it? Was it something she said? We still don't know. Turns out they didn't even watch it.
I'm sure, like, you've dealt with, cancel culture. Do you think that the fandom has gone, too woke?
I think it depends on which platform you're looking at. Twitter, 10 times as toxic as the other ones, more so than all of them combined. All the other ones are very friendly compared to Twitter.
Everyone's so damn negative on Twitter, too. Either that, or they're, ultra woke. They're my pronouns are she, them, zer, vi, whatever the crap. And it's if you don't respect me, then you're a bigot.
Now banned from every furry meetup in the Tulsa area, PeaceWolf decided to create her own event.
We're all sick of the political agendas that have been pushed on both ends of the spectrum to blame here. It's not a deal of right versus left, it's just the fandom is in this awkward culture war of sorts that, is reflected in outside the fandom too, and it's just kind of polluting the furry fandom. But the whole point of furry was it's supposed to be like an escape. And in fantasies, you can go and have a party and just be a furry character and have a good time. And that's been lost.
As most of you know, our alligator facility was burned down March the 26th, completely to the ground, killing all of our alligators and crocodiles, except for one large female that belonged to Michael Jackson. There's a lady over in Broken Arrow that has a facility called Safaris, and her name is Lorianne Stein-Scroggins, and she is such a sweetheart. She donated her only 2 alligators to the GW Zoo in order to put alligators in our brand new facility.
PeaceWolf is a longtime volunteer at Safari's Wildlife Sanctuary, an animal rescue in the Tulsa area, which takes in exotic pets such as bears, big cats, and wolves, who either escaped or were abandoned by their owners. It was originally known as Safari's Interactive Animal Sanctuary, until the United States Department of Agriculture revoked its license in 2012, citing over a half a decade's worth of violations, including an incident where a liger killed a worker. Being a non-profit organization that receives no government assistance, Safari Sanctuary is entirely reliant on donations and volunteers to keep its doors open.
Lori, one more quick thing. Does Safaris need help?
Always.
To assist Safaris, PeaceWolf founded the Anthro West Open Organization Association, otherwise known as the AWU Association, as a means of raising money for safaris.
In Oklahoma, USA, PeaceWolf is making wonderful fursuits, but did you know that with every fursuit sold, she donates a small percentage of the proceedings to a local charity? So far, she has donated a total of $760, and that amount will increase with every fursuit sold.
Safaris had a very positive relationship with the local furry community, as both Tails and Tornadoes and Wild Knights had raised money for safaris in the past. Continuing the trend, the AWU Association's first original event would be dedicated to funding safaris. The new convention was named FreeFurAll, set to take place on May 27th through the 29th of 2022. FreeFurAll 2022 was announced 2 days before the start of Tails and Tornadoes 2021. Both conventions were slated to take place at the very same hotel, 5 months apart from each other in 2022, the Marriott Tulsa Hotel at Southern Hills. Ali Capps, writing for the tabloid website We Got This Covered, claimed an anonymous source told them that the AWU Association had failed to get the hotel to sign an exclusivity clause.
Better in LA. The other day, I saw a bag lady keying another bag lady's shopping cart with a chrome dildo. Then a cop comes up and starts beating her down and videotapes it himself so he can use it as a Facebook icon. And I was thinking, now this is my kind of place. This is the kind of place I can put on my giant bunny suit and go confuse the hell out of recovering drug addicts.
Headlining the event was a comedian known by the stage name 2, the Ranting Gryphon. FreeFurAll proudly touted that they were the first Anthro convention to feature 2 Gryphon in over half a decade. 2 Gryphon was a minor celebrity within the furry fandom, or pop fur, during the early 2000s. He was an unabashed shock jock who refers to his performances as rants. With his increased presence on the internet, he found himself as a magnet for controversy. His website featured a blog where he would post essays, which ranged from glaringly anti-Semitic to Gryphon arguing that victims of childhood molestation are attention seekers who use their trauma as the ultimate end-all be-all get-out-of-jail-free card. His stand-up routine was a permanent fixture of the annual ANTHROCON until 2017, as it decided his attendance was too low to continue allotting stage time. Though rumors had cited 2 Gryphon's past controversies, such as him claiming those who killed themselves over cyberbullying were wasting air, or a rant he posted mocking the concept of social justice. Despite still being allowed to attend, 2 Gryphon skipped ANTHROCON after 15 years of perfect attendance. 2 Gryphon took on a new public persona as a free speech martyr, silenced by political correctness.
I'm gonna let the SJWs and the haters just hate. They want to hate. They don't want to know the truth. It is an ideology. It's a religion. there are people who would rather be outraged with me than know the truth, because they don't want that. They want to be outraged. It's their entertainment.
Afterwards, the Ranting Gryphon was a persona non grata across the furry convention circuit. While he used to be able to easily secure a stand-up gig at conventions across the country, now he was ostensibly blacklisted. Gryphon resorted to falsely claiming he was performing at Eurofurence 2018, only for the Eurofurence Twitter account to confirm he was not. But after a decade out of the spotlight, Gryphon was the guest of honor at FreeFurAll, and will post a video manifesto titled, "Why I'm Going to FreeFurAll."
We've lost a lot over the past several years. A lot of people out there who are saying, no, you can't say what you want. No, you can't express yourself in the way you... No, you can't have this opinion. No, you can't question this. See those friends you have? Yeah, we're going to call you that name to them and make sure they leave you. You like that job you have? We're going to call them up and accuse you of things to your boss and get you fired. If we find your family, we'll make sure they disown you, or we'll accuse them of the same thing. We'll make sure you're friendless, homeless, jobless, and starving because you won't feel the way that we tell you to. Well, I'm not going to claim it was the smartest answer ever, but this is the response they got from me. And they don't just accuse you, they make up the reasons too. You know, they'll oh no, he was in this chat room, or he said this thing, or he believes in this. But I've actually seen them Photoshop tweets from me with racial slurs in them and spread them around like I said them.
When a user in the Furry Raiders group chat called Lego Freak wrote, "Dogpatch is not gay. Anyone can be a, just as anyone can be a, it's behavior." Gryphon responded, "I respect you for knowing the difference. You're totally right."
I can't call myself brave because it's not really a choice that I have. But I will say that if you take the road that I did, it is scary. It's lonely.
PeaceWolf and Gryphon both offered something the other needed. Gryphon needed a convention to reignite his career, and PeaceWolf needed a recognizable enough pop fur who could draw attention to her burgeoning event. It is likely they knew that they would receive pushback, but did not predict the extent to which the backlash eventually reached.
Deep in the heart of America, one lone dreamer rode his way across the horizon in search of his next adventure. A place where love and freedom ring true above all else. Wanna know what it is? FreeFurAll! Welcoming free spirits of all shapes and sizes across the world. Hope to see you there.
After a month of teasing, the Woo Association's Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and website were transformed to be themed around FreeFurAll. The aesthetic of the con was unabashed Americana, stated in the convention's subtitle, "America's Anthro Convention." PeaceWolf had taken to preferring the nomenclature of Anthro to furry, as she believed the term furry had been co-opted by the political left. The convention was boasting how apolitical its intentions were, while paradoxically promoting itself as a political stand against cancel culture. On the website, they promoted Gryphon's presence, writing,
"Unfortunately, in 2016, his excursion in comedy was considered cancelled after being accused of being a homophobic, transphobic, misogynist, racist Nazi, for the usual sin of publicly declaring a belief and passion for the concept of free speech."
The website also emphasized that Gryphon was born into a Christian family, despite Gryphon being an atheist. On their Twitter, they noted that retweets were welcomed to raise awareness for the event. It appears Woo had decided to disable comments on all posts until the convention. As of January 2024, the announcement tweet has received 1,200 retweets and only 300 likes. In the quote tweets, Twitter users preemptively condemned the convention because of PeaceWolf's and Gryphon's reputations, dubbing the event an alt-right furry convention. Users began analyzing supposed symbolism in the advertising. Twitter user SuperShip79 wrote, The subtle aesthetic details in this flyer, the police badge-shaped logo, the fashy monochrome flag backdrop, referencing the blue-striped police flag, the constant red, white, and blue. My god. It even echoes Trump's lion logo, not to mention that the guest of honor is disgraced furry shithead Deuce Gryphon. They really missed the chance to call this FashCon. The police badge-shaped logo was intended to be the shape of the logo for Route 66, a classic piece of Americana marking the nationwide superhighway which ran through Tulsa, as the theme of 2022's FreeFurAll was getting back to our roots. The nickname FashCon stuck, an amalgamation of fascist and dash con, a legendarily disastrous convention themed around Tumblr, used as shorthand for ill-conceived and poorly managed conventions. Infamously, organizers offered attendees an extra hour in a small deflated ball pit as compensation for attending. The association with fascism was exacerbated when the furry raiders announced their support for the convention.
Even some of the drama about it has been going on TikTok as well. I have a TikTok of my own, and some furry that I used to like on there, it turns out they're an SJW furry, and they called it a racist con or something like that because they were talking about the furry raiders as well. They didn't say our name of the group, they just said Nazis.
Oh, please.
The Furry Raiders, led by Foxler Nightfire, is the premier alt-furry organization, distinguishable through their unmistakable Nazi-styled armbands, where the swastika has been replaced by a paw print. PeaceWolf had previously associated with the Furry Raiders by appearing on their podcast, and Gryphon had been an adamant defender of the Raiders, in return for their support of him in the wake of ANTHROCON.
When I needed it the most, I was glad that he was there. And I want to do the same for him today. Because people become oversensitive. And I know people have become oversensitive about what I wear here. They've treated me the same way they've treated Gryphon.
People are still calling them Nazis, they're still calling them hateful, they're still saying they have hate speech, and I still, for the life of me, cannot get any information about what they've done to anyone. I mean, I'm not asking for...
The ideology of alt-furry is hard to define, but the movement proper began in 2016, while similar campaigns such as Gamergate had gained infamy on websites such as 4chan. Foxler credits the astronomical political rise of Donald Trump for giving the alt-furry the inspiration to make their presence known to the public. The name alt-furry is a play on the white nationalist movement, the alt-right. Ali Conti of Vice News described Foxler after an interview. According to the high school dropout, his Nazi-esque armband originated as a Second Life accessory, but it's difficult to pin him down on what it actually represents or what he actually believes. During the course of our conversation, he oscillated between claiming ignorance and irony. When I asked why he won't just take off the armband to end the drama, he unspooled a story about how the character of Foxler was based on his deceased father. When I asked about his politics, he said that they're starting to change in reaction to all the backlash he's received from people offended by his outfit. Before all of this, he used to look exclusively at 4chan, he says, but now he's starting to read about SJWs and safe spaces, and getting more involved in what might be termed slightly more mainstream right-wing modes of thought. The Raiders are ostracized from the mainstream fandom. Their presence at a convention is often enough to trigger calls for a boycott. In the case of Rocky Mountain FurCon 2016, the Furry Raiders booking 25% of all rooms at the hotel caused a chain reaction, which, to quote the Daily Beast, led to death threats, allegations of tax evasion, intrigue around a suspected sovereign citizen, and the discovery of a sex offender on the FurCon board. The controversy eventually led to the complete dissolution of Rocky Mountain FurCon. Then, in 2017, a neo-Nazi terrorist murdered Heather Heyer and injured 35 other people at the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. Amidst the shock and outrage following the attack, the alt-furries reveled in and idolized the attack. This was compounded by the revelation that neo-Nazi Nathan Gate, a figurehead in the alt-furry community, was an active participant in the rally, and even boasted about how he watched a group of white supremacists viciously assault DeAndre Harris, a black man. Gates' girlfriend, KK Cutie, a former furry turned neo-Nazi, told Newsweek, "I think alt-furry ends up being a kind of exodus for many furries, as they are dragged further right. They grow out of the whole furry thing and leave it behind for real political activism. I've experienced this firsthand, as well as witnessing several of my friends do the same." Foxler Nightfire would continue to serve as the public face of the alt-furry movement, as the subculture of a subculture garnered attention from mainstream news outlets. Even as Foxler began to face a litany of allegations regarding sexual misconduct with underage girls, which resulted in legal action against several furry raiders. Most furry conventions would refuse to associate with the raiders. On July 17th, 2022, the furry raiders announced that they were providing support, staffing, and attendance at FreeFurAll. The revelation that 20% of FreeFurAll's entire operating budget was provided by a single furry raider, A. Vera Nova, made it impossible for FreeFurAll to disassociate from the raiders. During the convention proper, Foxglove would personally present a Vera with an award during opening ceremonies for his contribution.
I hope you'll join me in thanking this man for leading the way with irrational generosity. Mr. Aviera, would you please come up here for a moment?
Convention, guys. Yes.
Some accusations toward the convention were far-fetched, such as Twitter user TwitchDeWolf attempting to connect FreeFurAll's mascot, a Grey Wolf, to the violent Turkish Islamo-nationalist group, the Grey Wolves, with only a Wikipedia screenshot of an article they clearly didn't read. Despite the logical leap required to believe this, the purported connection was still widely spread around, and even featured in the We Got This Covered article by Ali Caps. Caps had been advising users to bombard the venue's phone number and voice their disdain for the event. Caps wrote, "People need to make it clear that they want FreeFurAll destroyed." Caps received word from the general manager of the Marriott, who noted the venue had received numerous calls regarding the convention. Conservative furry Twitter was unhappy at the level of vitriol the convention attracted. One user named Dingolf wrote, "The amount of absolute seething that this con exists. So far, all I've seen is baseless accusations of it being a con for Nazis and pedos. People spurging to Gryphon as the guest of honor. I've yet to see any real criticism or anything substantial." Krieg Blackpaw responded, "They are angry because the people they have ostracized decided to have fun without their AIDS-ridden cesspools. I'm looking forward to all of them not going." Further down in the thread, Dingolf replied with a screenshot in tow. "It's always the left that's quick to make threats of violence. Joking or not, because they'd take it deadly serious when on the receiving end." The screenshot was of a leftist group chat discussing FreeFurAll, during which a participant named Vel wrote, "Only so I can bomb it." Another user named Safi responded to Vel, "Let's not say stupid things in a public channel." The day after announcement, PeaceWolf took to Discord to celebrate the fact that FreeFurAll's Twitter had reached 1 million impressions and 66,000 engagements. Wallawu was aware that FreeFurAll had attracted a fair amount of haters. They believed the initial support they received would balance it out. Rumors began to circulate of a supposedly severe, violent threat made against the hotel, but whether this was a legitimate concern or rumor mongering from internet users is ambiguous. The campaign against FreeFurAll worked, and Awu was forced to change the location and push the date of the convention back 2 months. Awu posted to its socials,
FreeFurAll is proud to provide an event from all walks of life. It's disappointing how many humans today cannot tolerate different people, especially when they want to have a big fluffy event together. The dark side of the Anthro fandom is showing its face, and some have even gone as far as to target and harass members of our association and our business partners. After enduring this for some time, our hotel has asked us to relocate for fear of the civil unrest threatened by those who want to see this event cancelled. We are not deterred, and we will be holding America's Anthro Convention regardless of the obstacles anyone throws our way. We are so thankful for the overwhelming support we have received from everywhere in the world except Twitter. We want all our supporters to know we have your backs. FreeFurAll and its staff aren't going anywhere. FreeFurAll is proudly #uncancelable.
The supposed violent threats convinced FreeFurAll to operate on badge-only status and have police officers positioned at each entrance. 20 days after the announcement, PeaceWolf took a sabbatical from Twitter, writing,
"Don't know how long, but I think it's high time for a disconnect. This platform makes me sick, mentally and physically."
FreeFurAll found its new home at the Glenpool Conference Center in Glenpool, Oklahoma. Those who were opposed to the convention had largely lost interest, and this new location received little to no pushback. The convention was delayed a month, pushed to July. To satirize those who labeled the convention FashCon, FreeFurAll purchased a custom-branded red, white, and blue ball pit, attempting to reclaim the ball pit as a badge of honor. To refute the idea that FreeFurAll was catering to conservatives, AWU would begin to emphasize FreeFurAll as a non-partisan event.
Friendly reminder that FreeFurAll is America's Anthro Convention, not Republicon or Democon or anything else. We don't ban people based on beliefs and affiliations.
But this fell on deaf ears. Detractors were quick to rebuke professional claims of political neutrality, and instead point to the organizers' personal social media profiles. For instance, PeaceWolf's husband, Fox Glove, is a member of FreeFurAll's board, and is active on the far-right social media site Gab, and crypto-themed social media site Minds. On Minds, he has made a litany of homophobic posts, has referred to abortion as child sacrifice, and has reposted anti-vax and COVID denialist figures. Foxglove is persistently transphobic, dedicating an inordinate amount of his feed to his prejudice. To the point, his Gab bio is dedicated to mocking the transgender community. The most vocal supporters tended to be individuals who were banned from attending other conventions, for one reason or another. FreeFurAll had declined to provide an official place for their community to congregate, such as a subreddit or group chat. To satiate demand, K9 Lupin had founded the FreeFurAll 2022 unofficial chat. Lupin himself was already infamous for advocating trans-genocide, alongside a history of racist and violent rhetoric. Within days of the founding, the participants were divided, as it became clear Lupin intended for the chat to become an alt-right echo chamber, alienating those who only wanted to discuss the convention. This caused roughly a third of the chat, at the time, to abandon ship. Those who remained constituted a veritable furry legion of doom. The group chat became a prime target for leftist Twitter users to infiltrate, and then quickly mass screenshot before they were detected and banned. A notable exchange began with a supposedly leftist troll calling the participants Nazis and a slur. Further down in the thread, a user named Rabies replied, "LMAO, define Nazi. In 2021, Nazi means good person, because anti-fascists are all and degenerates. Kill yourself, leftists." Another user named Aloysius Grumble replied, "I mean, Nazis thought they were doing the world a favor, but we all know how that ended for them." Rabies replied, "Yeah, and that's what the leftists are doing, so we should kill all the lefties like we did the Nazis. And I mean the real Nazis, not the insult by pedophile Antifa." At its peak, the group chat only contained 25 members. Normally an obscure group chat like this would not warrant attention, but the severity of extremism was unprecedented for the furry community. Lupin's excitement for the convention had faded in the interim, but he would never get a chance to attend. In July 2022, K9 Lupin was arrested by West Virginia's Department of Homeland Security for alleged terroristic threats Lupin had made on Twitter towards West Virginia's governor and the Vice President of the United States. The unofficial chat received national news attention when an active participant, known as Polybun, real name Benjamin Smith, was arrested following a mass shooting. In February of 2022, Smith opened fire on a group protesting police brutality, murdering June Knightley and injuring 4 others. In the unofficial chat, Smith was flagrantly anti-Semitic and anti-black. He often talked about his guns, denouncing FreeFurAll's refusal to allow him to bring firearms into the convention. Smith salivated over the idea of killing someone, seeking to emulate the actions of his hero Kyle Rittenhouse. Smith's writings were so extreme, even others in the chat were taken back by him at points. Lupin would admit, the convention doesn't actually want to have any chats out of fear they will end up like this one. Within 8 days of the unofficial chat's founding, FreeFurAll would indirectly denounce it. FreeFurAll Official posted,
"Those who impersonate AWU or our FreeFurAll staff and pretend to do evil in our name will not deter us either. We will continue to be a bright ray of kindness in a dark world and make a place for everyone to come together. If you have questions about AWU or FreeFurAll and wish to have them answered legitimately, please use our official social media."
PeaceWolf used FreeFurAll's COVID policy as an advertisement for the convention.
Tired of going to furry conventions that still make you mask up, get the jab, or take a COVID test? You might want to check out the con that AWU Association is hosting.
This was par for the course with PeaceWolf's libertarianism, but FreeFurAll's attendance policy was comparatively strict. It required that all attendees be 18 years or older, without exception, while also prohibiting
no public displays of affection more extreme than hugging, back scratching, or similar,
and dictating that
wearing sexual paraphernalia or fetish gear is prohibited in public areas.
Even with the magnitude of controversy across social media, FreeFurAll had become one of the most anticipated furry conventions of 2022, both ironically and unironically. Finally, July arrived, and at its conclusion was FreeFurAll. Attendees were as expected, mainly consisting of conservative furries.
Fursuit tour at FreeFurAll 2022.
A dragon husky. A wolf. A rabbit. A raccoon. Help, hey!
An anomaly in the crowd was YouTuber and brony, StallionSlaughter. Unlike the rest of the attendees, StallionSlaughter was a self-professed Democrat who only attended because it's 10 minutes from my house, legit right down the street, and I was told there would be drama. StallionSlaughter comprehensively documented his experience on Twitter before his suspension, and was the main source through which the internet understood the convention. FreeFurAll opened to the public on Friday, July 29th, 2022. A rough headcount noted 83 people at opening ceremonies.
This is going to be an amazing con. The way that PeaceWolf put it, she told me, you're the guest of honor, but I want everyone, all the members, to be treated like guests of honor. I've never heard a staff member say that before. So, this is going to be a good party, guys.
The event lineup began at 10 p.m., with opening ceremonies at 12 p.m., followed by an aviation furs panel, Jackbox games, and a Nerf battle. Other events included the AWU Associate Meetup, Lion King Trivia, and Disney Karaoke.
When the road looks rough ahead and your miles from your nice moment.
The day concluded with Magic the Gathering 101 and a dance rave. Throughout the week, Safari Sanctuary was present in the exhibitors hall, allowing guests the opportunity to interact with a tortoise, lizards, and snakes to advertise their charity. One very large snake ended up in the ball pit. Saturday the 30th began with a furry history lecture by Gryphon.
I mean, I know there's a lot of new dudes and they come into the fandom, and one of the first things they see, and I hate the fact that they see this, is you see a bunch of activists. And you're like, oh, this is kind of a political sort of act. It wasn't. It didn't start out that way. That's not what we wanted.
At 12 p.m. was the requisite fursuit parade. Later events included a Bitcoin panel, a Super Smash Bros. Tournament, whose winner is undocumented, and a snake appreciation panel, also by Gryphon. A group photo of the fursuit parade was methodically dissected by left-wing detractors, who created call-out collages for as many fursuiters as they could identify, including a Vera Nova, Crusader Cat, Diesel Raccoon, Foxler Nightfire, JSonafX and his wife Cab's Corner, Magnus Deridian, also known as the Confederate Fursuiter, and Sheep. Crusader Cat in particular became a source of mockery for wearing a Nazi Furries Don't Exist shirt in close proximity to Foxler.
Oh god, he's wearing the t-shirt. No. Oh. This makes me cringe so hard every time I see it. Oh, that's such a good suit. I love the digital. Yes, that's awesome. Oh no. Oh wow.
Then there was a talent show called the Furriety Show.
And put the grading system in there, which dates way back to, holy cow, back in the 20s, maybe earlier when they started that project.
Friends would call me up on a Friday night and be like, oh, yeah, let's go to the strip club. And I'd be like, yeah, let's go to the strip club. I'd get in there and just be like, boobies, boobies, I see boobies, I like boobies, I touch some boobies. Yeah.
For those of you who may not know, I actually got my start in the furry fandom as an artist and an animator. But then I discovered this little freeware application to the DSi back in. Anyone ever heard of an application called Flipnote Studio? A couple of you, okay. A lot of you, okay, awesome, wonderful. I did that for a couple of years and I was okay at it. A lot of people thought I was really good at it apparently, but you know, I'm an artist and we're our own worst critics, always. Today I'd like to share some of what I feel are some of the more better ones I've made.
Saturday concluded with a panel titled No More Politics, then a guest of honor dinner for VIP attendees, which Slaughter Pony estimated consisted of about 1/4 of all attendees. There was a stand-up routine that was entirely improvised.
So I got divorced. It's one of those things that happens sometimes, you know, life throws you some curveballs. Kind of fucking happens when you're not happy together and you get apart, you're happier. So I kept it on the DL for a long time because, a little secret folks, if you're gonna go through a divorce, don't let anyone else get involved.
Next was a panel titled Let Freedom Ring, a game of werewolf, and finally, to the Ranting Gryphon stand-up show.
Oh, where was I? Now I'm trying to think of what I was doing. Okay. Oh, right. I think. I like it when that light comes on. It lights up my nose. Yeah, so, we got the... Hang on. No, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting my stuff. I didn't practice it enough. That happens sometimes, too. Sometimes you get your show down, and then you go on stage, and you're like, wait, what was I talking about? You forget about it. Well, I was talking about how we don't age well. That's true. And I talked about that. Oh, canceled. Right, because I am canceled. So, yeah, I remember where I was. Sorry about that. See, that's another thing when you get old and canceled and you're a comic on stage, because when you're young, you're going to try to skip over it and tell a couple little stupid jokes to fill up the time, but when you're old, you're like, what the hell was I talking about? This is just... no, I mean, I could talk about getting fat. That's what it was. I could talk about music. I love music. I like old music. Well, the older music I miss. I miss it.
This was followed by a panel on inflatables, and finally, another rave. Sunday the 31st began with the Canceling Cancel Culture panel by Foxglove.
Don't just do your own research. Care less. Here's the thing. How many things that Twitter says about people are true? What makes you think this one is any more likely to be true? PeaceWolf knows, just as an example, you have no idea how many people still come up to her and says, "So, are you really a racist?" That hurts.
Other events included an Overcoming Addiction panel by Gryphon, another Nerf war, and a Safari Sanctuary charity panel, followed up by a charity auction where contestants bid on who could shove cream pie into Gryphon and PeaceWolf's face.
3, 2, 1!
Then a Travel Horror Stories panel, followed by Story Hour with Gryphon for VIP attendees, another game of werewolf, and the final Dead Dog Dance to close out the convention. During closing ceremonies, they would announce the guest of honor for 2023.
But no, they're going to try. The collective rectum of the internet is going to try to explain to you via any channel that they can get you to listen to exactly why it is scientifically and mathematically impossible that you had any fun this weekend. And you guys had the audacity to ignore what the internet says is impossible, and you had fun anyways.
So, who's our 2023 guest of honor going to be? You want to know something cool? They're here in this building right now. A lot of you have probably met them or have known them for some time. I don't know if you've noticed, but they're extremely talented. Together they make an incredible team. They've done amazing artwork and animation. They've even made their own video games. How many people can say that, right? And it's with great honor and pleasure that I would like to welcome to the stage your FreeFurAll 2023 guests of honor, Kat and Jason.
I'll tell you one thing, I've been to a lot of different conventions over the years, almost up to a decade now, and I definitely have to say, this, FreeFurAll, has been one of the best weekends I've ever had in the community. I love everyone I've met this weekend. I love the state, I love America, I'm Australian myself. One thing I've always wanted to do before I wrapped up my career in the community is to give back, to show what I've accomplished, to share that back with you guys. To hang out with you guys, have fun, have a great time, have a great weekend. I hope to do it again next year. It's going to be great!
The official summary noted that the convention had 207 registrants from 40 different states, raised $8,000 for charity out of a goal of $3,000, and had around 40 fursuiters in attendance. The Furry Raiders also bragged that it had 0 arrests, 0 hospitalizations, 0 sexual assaults, 0 animal abuse, 0 violence, 0 drug problems, 0 diapers, 0 property damage, and 0 SJWs. For comparison, PeaceWolf's previous FurCon, Tails and Tornadoes, had 507 attendees in its first year, and raised $7,000 for charity. StallionSlaughter uploaded a video detailing his time at FreeFurAll.
I think it's funny that he used the song Bangarang because the theme of the convention was back to our roots. They are imagining a state of the furry fandom from that era. It's exactly like Make America Great Again, where they have this imagined history of the United States that existed in the 50s when it just that never existed. There was no overwhelmingly apolitical furry fandom because we're adults. And so we talk politics sometimes. And it's just goofy. There was a surprising number of people unwilling to defend the Raiders. Whether or not they want to readily admit it, the armbands are a political statement. And the convention really actually did try to stay as apolitical as possible. That's really a thing that they actually did. I don't know if it will grow, because from what I understand, there were some people that were legitimately upset to find out that the Raiders were there with their dumb fuck little armbands, and that Gryphon getting on stage and saying that you guys are now all canceled and you guys are now banned from all the other conventions and we're the only ones you have. It was like saying the quiet part out loud. It seemed to be, because that seems to be what they want. They seem to want to lock people in and be like, we're all you have. And that is goofy to me. There were quite a few locals there. there was quite a few locals there that seemed to be entirely oblivious. They saw the American flags and stuff like that, and they thought, oh, cool!
The convention caught the attention of Wendy Suarez, a news anchor for Oklahoma's local Fox station. Suarez voiced her concern regarding the controversial and possibly criminal histories of several attendees, and wondered if the city of Glenpool would allow the event to return. Despite being condemned by outsiders, plenty of attendees were willing to praise the convention.
Well, howdy, boys. I just want to say, I had me a great time at FFA.
There's a lot of reviews of FreeFurAll out there, and honestly, a lot of it is plain bullcrap. I'm going to tell you what it was really like at FFA, since, there's a lot of people out there reviewing the thing that didn't even actually go, which is kind of odd. But honestly, it really got sad. I know that there's, a certain side of the furry fandom, politics, Western civilization right now, that really don't want people who aren't woke to have any fun at all. Another thing they complained about was that there were people there they didn't like. Like, well, here's a picture of a guy I don't like, and therefore the con failed. Really? How do you people get through a Walmart?
It was like the feeling after the convention was just fantastic. I mean,
I feel like I was triumphant is the word.
Once that weekend was over, it's like, oh shit.
I mean, honestly, I know this sounds kind of cringy, but I mean, the comparison that I used, it felt like I was leaving Hogwarts. And I'm like going back to live with the Dursleys.
Yeah, so...
It's like, no, my wonderful life.
But this abundance of goodwill would be spent before FreeFurAll 2023. On September 5th, 2022, PeaceWolf tweeted,
"My life changed this weekend thanks to two very special friends God had blessed me with. It's hard to describe just how touched and overflowing with gratitude my heart is right now. Life is good. God is good."
Around the same time, Foxglove was removed from FreeFurAll leadership. Staffers who questioned the removal were not provided answers. This policy was enforced by the board member No Dice Doomguy, when an inquiring staffer named Legion Bunny asserted that the board lacked transparency. No Dice Doomguy justified it with the vague rationale that the decision to remove Fox was done to ensure the stability of this con, and that it was necessary to protect the innocent. Doomguy accused Legion Bunny of blackmail for questioning the board, and subsequently banned them. In November 2022, it became widely known that PeaceWolf had left Foxglove and boarded a plane to Canada to enter into a polyamorous relationship with Jasonifex in Cab's corner. PeaceWolf described her reasoning.
3 days before FreeFurAll, I received multiple leaked screenshots anonymously from concerned staff that Fox was fooling around and planned to have sex with another female member of the staff, who was one of my close friends, who also happened to be our roommate that year for the hotel. This sexting dated back for months, including explicit photos and detailed descriptions of what they planned to get up to at the convention, with the thrill of doing it all behind my back while I was running it. I briefly asked Fox if he was doing anything I should know about with other women, and he said no, not knowing I had been sent the receipts. Then I showed him the evidence, and only at that point did he confess to what he had done. I requested that he not be in the hotel room alone with this woman at any point during the convention, to which he promised he wouldn't. I ended up catching them in the room together by themselves at least once during the convention. It triggered a full-on panic attack. I could hardly breathe. I resolved to shove my feelings down as far as humanly possible for the sake of being able to run FreeFurAll, and that's what I did. I didn't tell a single soul about what was going on and tried to put on a front of stability, all while crumbling on the inside. Only a couple of attendees had the relationship experience to see I was in serious pain. primarily JSONFX and Cabs Corner. I had not had the opportunity to spend any time with them during the convention as they were busy, but I did get to see them during the after party and they were very supportive, friendly, and helped pack up the con despite not being on staff. I really needed friends I could trust to talk to, so I invited them to stay in town one more day where I can find all this news to them. J&K helped me formulate a plan for the next month, helping both me and Fox read books like 7 Levels of Intimacy, taking courses like the Big 5 Personality Test to generate a couples report to find the point of friction, and talking to both of us every day to check in and see if things are getting better and professional couples counseling. Fox scored a 0% in empathy, meaning he had no interest to understand or feel what another person is experiencing, and thus, my needs were never validated. J&K encouraged me to take a weekend away from the hostile home environment I was in and visit them in Canada. Despite my efforts, my relationship with Fox continued to deteriorate over the next few months.
The day PeaceWolf left, Foxglove posted to Discord, "It doesn't make any sense anyways. She changed Null so much when she started being around them. I think the drugs they have her on might have contributed to it. There was no warning, she never expressed that she wanted to leave, just left some art for me to find when I got home to an empty house," bragging about how they were fucking while I was away. On a whiteboard in Foxglove's home, Cabs Corner left 2 drawings for him to find. The first depicted PeaceWolf snuggled between JSONFX and Cabs Corner, with 10 tally marks, noting the amount of times they had sex together, behind Foxglove's back. The second showed a white wolf, back turned to the viewer, walking off into the distance, with a Canadian flag fluttering in the background. A screenshot of the Discord chat was eventually released on Twitter, making waves through the furry community. Several details, previously kept private, were divulged, such as the fact that PeaceWolf and Foxglove had decided to shelter a teenage foster daughter while attempting to reconcile their relationship, but the community was mainly focused on PeaceWolf's liberators. JSONFX is an Australian artist, known in the furry community as a prolific furry pornographer. His resume includes pornographic animations, comics, and video games, spanning a wide variety of fetishes and sexualities.
So just kind of like a multimedia guy is the best way to describe it. A relentlessly stubborn, never-ending, industrious, multimedia guy causing havoc in the furry scene because they never stop working.
He is co-founder of Team Amorous, alongside his wife, Canadian artist Cabs Corner. The partnership works off the Marvel method, wherein Cabs Corner does all of the art, and then Jason adds rudimentary animation with After Effects jitter tool, then publishes it on his profile. The two met online circa 2012. JSONFX described their introduction, quote, "She was a fan of my work here on Fur Affinity and commissioned me. I found her motivation for saving money and going over expectation for her online boyfriend very sentimental. She nuked her account shortly after it was posted and was essentially offline from the internet for 3 to 4 months. I eventually found her username on Steam and discovered her BF catfished her at the airport and was doing the same thing to multiple impressionable girls online. I invited her to games, collabs, and chats to repair her damaged view of the furry community. Things blossomed over time from there. By November 10th, 2012, the two were in a pseudo-relationship. JSONFX was 21, Cabs Corner was 15. The age of consent in both Canada and Australia is 16 years old. Before they made their relationship official, Cabs Corner drew JSONFX Virgins the Raptor persona, having sex with Cabs Lion King persona, Kate. But JSONFX went a step further in September of 2012, when he had Cabs Corner provide moaning and other voice work for his pornographic animation, Take It Hard. This was 3 months before Cabs Corner's 16th birthday. On June 3rd, 2013, JSONFX and Cabs Corner's relationship became official. In a question and answer, when a commenter named Gunstinger mentioned the age disparity, JSONFX replied, "Pot meat kettle, you are from the Netherlands, in which the age of consent is 16, the same age of consent as Australia and Canada. My own parents have an age gap of 10. If you're gonna try for clout, aim at something real." Gunstinger refuted with, just to be a nitpick, pot meat kettle is used when someone is guilty of that which they are accusing someone else of. I don't go around grooming 15-year-olds. Cab's Corner replied to Gunstinger, strongly denying the idea that she had been groomed. Hey there, groom victim here. I wasn't groomed, surprise surprise. Let's just ignore the fact that I'm a fully developed adult now, while we're at it. Don't ever think you can speak on behalf of me. JSONFX dismissed the allegations as virtue signaling, and blamed them on Cab's Corner's conservative politics, such as supporting Trump and biology. After Cab's Corner turned 16, Jason moved out to Canada on a work visa to live with Cab's Corner and her family. However, following a divorce in Cab's Corner's family, Jason took Cab's Corner and moved to a rundown house owned by her father, before being evicted and forced to move into a rental home he claimed had no heating, no bathroom beyond a toilet, no kitchen, no outlets, and no internet. The couple started a $3,000 GoFundMe to finance repairs. A month later, the couple bought a designer Shiba Inu, which averages around the $2,000 range. Jason believed that he had liberated Cab's Corner from an abusive home life. He described Cab's family as having a history of mental illness and alcoholism, referring to her mom as emotionally unstable and her dad as bipolar and violent. In 2017, the couple moved in with another furry named Bleakley. Bleakley came from a wealthy family, and his parents had given him permission to live in a 3-story house while he attended art school. Having no one to live with, Bleakley invited JSONFX and Cab's Corner to stay at the apartment. Within 2 months, the situation had deteriorated.
You brought the fucking most empathetic, peacemaking fucking son of a bitch that lives in this fucking area and turned him into your uncle. You did. I'm not normally like this. Ever.
According to JSONFX, after a heated confrontation, Cab's Corner told Bleakley to call his father and tell him that he was not going to art school. Following the call, Bleakley texted JSONFX that his father did not want rent from Bleakley, but from JSONFX and Cab's Corner, as Bleakley's father was unaware the two had been living in the house. In response to the news that they would have to start paying rent, Cab's Corner barged upstairs and confronted Bleakley. It is unknown how long the confrontation lasted, but partway through, Bleakley began to record the encounter. The couple spends the entirety of the 55-minute recording at a fever pitch, while Bleakley remains calm the entire time.
You deserve to feel like shit because you treat everybody else around you like shit.
No more victim card.
Yeah, no more victim card.
During the recording, JSONFX and Cab's Corner threatened to make Bleakley's family evict him.
The gravy train ends here. You fucked with the wrong people.
Attempt and failed to gaslight Bleakley into believing his family was not abusive.
Yeah, just stop it. Oh no, poor Bleakley. Oh, life is so hard living in a mansion in the
Doing
richest
nothing,
part of yeah.
pretending to go out to college when he's actually going to his friend's house.
Because
It's
he's
a
so
real
much of a
hard
fucking
life.
pussy.
When none of the former tactics have any effect, they resort to threatening to tank Bleakley's reputation by branding him as a rapist.
If you're recording shit, how about you say the creepy shit he's done to you?
Oh, he crawled in bed behind me while my pants were off, groped my boobs, and asked me while Jay was in the shower if he could fuck me. And you can deny that all you want. But I know, and he knows, he is it's the truth. You can say all the bullshit lies you want.
No, can I explain?
Go for it. Do you think you have any right to touch a woman that's in a relationship?
No, of course not. And you said it made you uncomfortable, and I immediately stopped.
You shouldn't get to that point.
It shouldn't get to the point where you're doing that in the first place. Like, are you within?
You should have told me just...
It shouldn't be something you need to ask.
Can you please let me explain?
Explain your bullshit story.
No, it's not bullshit. This is what happened. It was this one night, you brought me to the living room at the sofas, and we had a talk, and Jason's like, why don't you touch Kate's boobs? I'm like, okay.
Okay, that was a completely different time.
But-
you were in the bed, feeling all sad for yourself.
No,
You said,
I
oh,
wasn't.
I never had a girlfriend, blah, blah, blah.
No,
We're all in the bed watching a movie.
No,
And said,
no.
if you really
Guys,
want the
guys.
touch of a female, you can try touching a boob once, just so you can say that you've done it. That was the whole thing. It was an invitation
And
to
then-
fucking grope my girlfriend.
Now I realize like that was really messed up, but at the time
We
didn't-
felt terrible for you because you're a fucking virgin that has never had the touch of a female in their life. So it's like, hey, do you want to at least feel the sensation of what a tit feels like? You poor sack of shit?
And then it got to a point where it was just kind of like I said, this was wrong, and I admit that, but at the time.
Let me guess, you're gonna edit this out of your recording,
No.
aren't you?
Please.
Who are you gonna show this recording to?
Please
your
let
therapist?
me explain.
Because your therapist
Let me explain,
isn't gonna
please.
believe anything that you say.
Let me explain.
You know what your therapist is probably going to say? Oh, this guy's 26.
Guys, shut up.
No.
No!
He's probably going to say that this guy is 26.
You're not letting me explain.
No, you don't get to!
See?
Because you treat us like shit!
How is this fair? When I...
Fair?
Because I...
You think this is unfair?
Guys.
You abused us!
Police were called on Bleakley, who Jason referred to as a sociopathic predator, and claimed him and Cabs would try to get a restraining order. The police took Cabs' Corner's statement, but no charges were ever pressed, and the couple moved out. Despite spending 55+ minutes threatening to destroy Bleakley's life, their threats proved entirely empty. Around this time, JSonFX and Cabs' Corner got married, but their reputations were in a tailspin. While JSonFX's willingness to push boundaries had garnered him popularity, it would also cause his fall from grace. For example, their comic Man's Best Friend with Benefits, centered around a furry having sex with a feral Shiba Inu, became so infamous in the community that Cabs' Corner eventually removed it from her fur affinity. In 2019, JSonFX said on the topic of zoophilia, "If the animal consents, then I don't care." JSonFX also frequently produces cub porn, furry slang for pornographic art depicting anthropomorphic animals with the anatomy of human children. Jason believes there's nothing morally wrong with this type of image, but has been highly cautious of the legality. But there were some taboos JSonFX was not interested in exploring. In 2020, Jason stated he was not interested in group sex, saying, "It doesn't seem worth the potential clout/drama associated. I'd rather just fuck my wife." JSonFX was gathering a reputation as the furry equivalent of yandere dev, as his willingness to make offensive statements continued to plunge him into controversy, such as him generalizing transgender people as mentally ill, leaked screenshots of him dropping the hard R 5 times, and a vitriolic public feud between him and furry esports personality Sonic Fox, during which Cabs' Corner used racist and homophobic slurs against Sonic Fox, who is black and queer.
Maybe I'll be racist.
I'm already racist.
What about a zoophile?
I'm already a zoophile.
I'll be abusive.
I'm abusive.
I'm right or sexist.
I'm already sexist.
Guess I'll be a transphobe.
I'm already a transphobe.
I have an idea.
What's your idea?
You should leave.
I'm gonna say the N-word.
The increased backlash coincided with JSonFX politically drifting from a moderate to red-pilled, heavily influenced by his idol, Jordan Peterson. In 2019, Cabs' Corner announced she was leaving the furry fandom because of left-wing politics. Cabs' Corner would later post an open letter to the furry community, apologizing for acting like an immature, toxic, and self-destructive butthole, but made it clear she would not re-identify as a furry. She attributed her behavior to unchecked mental health issues and abuse of both prescription and non-prescription drugs. Now outcast from the mainstream fandom, the couple made their way to FreeFurAll 2022. On November 29th, 2022, PeaceWolf posted a drawing of herself crying in bed as she is consoled by JSonFX and Cabs' Corner, captioned,
"When you're cheated on by your best friend and your worst nightmare comes to life, you don't know who you can trust anymore. You're left broken, confused, terrified. In my case, I found solace in two very kind, very understanding individuals.
However, following the leaked whiteboard drawings, a large number of PeaceWolf's followers had stopped supporting her, disgusted by PeaceWolf's supposed infidelity. A user named Aaron Casey wrote, "That does not give you the excuse to abandon everything you stand for to be poly with pedozoophils. Seriously, think about what you're doing. Read the word, spend time in prayer, seek the Lord." A user named Gray wrote, "This whole situation sucks, including PeaceWolf turning into a... The only reason I supported them last year was because they didn't require shots or masks. I regret spending hours on a poster for them. I knew back when I won second place and JSonFX won first automatically, there was something going on." Another user named Buddy the Wolf denounced FreeFurAll, writing, "No one will come to your silly club ever again." Two Gryphon engaged in a conversation with Buddy the Wolf, during which Buddy called Gryphon a supporter. Gryphon responded, "FreeFurAll is a... Well, I did pay to be there, and it gave me a great time all weekend. FreeFurAll is the best forever." Defending PeaceWolf, the Furry Raiders tweeted, "We're still committed to support, staff, attend FFA next year, and con chair PeaceWolf's personal choice to explore new paths to happiness in life. We believe in freedom of personal choice. For every furry in this fandom, expression without limits." Buddy the Wolf responded, "You aren't real National Socialist. LARPers." Another follower named Gabe Curtis attempted to cancel their registration for 2023. However, like many who had canceled their trip, Curtis found themselves denied a refund. This was troubling, as pricing ranged from the basic $40 admission to the $450 Maverick tier. This included a private party with cabs, JSonFX, and the chairman, collector's drinking glass, custom engraved dog tag, a themed patch, and a personalized award. The Maverick tier managed to sell all 15 available tickets. One Maverick tier member was Orion Stardragon, who wrote, I am one of those 15? Yeah, and I know I lost that money and won't get it back. That's the last I'll ever give to them." Orion had served as Director of Operations through FreeFurAll's entire lifetime. Orion had served as Director of Operations, but stepped down after the regime change made them feel that their concerns were no longer being considered. Outrage was not limited to PeaceWolf's immediate following. The news shot out across the furry fandom, and even began to bleed into the mainstream internet. JSonFX was quick to defend PeaceWolf from increased scrutiny. When Twitter user SkullKnot wrote, "Hope you feel good about wrecking a family," JSonFX replied, "Things need to deteriorate for a long time for a husband to decide cheating is a good idea. Helping her leave an abusive relationship felt great." The CEO of Christian Furries inquired, "Abusive how?" JSonFX replied, "Infidelity, gaslighting, full-blown narcissism." The CEO of Christian Furries followed up, "Oh, is that so? So Foxglove cheated on her. With who exactly? And how does screwing her yourself fix the situation?" JSonFX replied, "Yes, he got caught cheating with full chat log receipts. Before we met, like many other convenient details left out to garner sympathy." On November 27th, PeaceWolf tweeted,
"Sometimes relationships don't turn out to be everything we've hoped for. In my case, I was young, naive, and didn't recognize narcissism. I was a caged wolf, only loved out in the open. Behind closed doors was a different story."
PeaceWolf would debut her new catchphrase,
"Break those chains that bind you."
On December 8th, 2022, PeaceWolf officially filed for divorce from Foxglove. Moving into 2023, and following the dissolution of his marriage, Foxglove continued to shelter his foster daughter, who had stopped communicating with PeaceWolf entirely. In turn, PeaceWolf had left her job to live with Jason and Cabs, and had stopped talking to her parents.
Sometimes you just have to cut toxic people out of your life, even if they're blood. I had to cut my parents off recently because they were being too helicopter-y. I'm 26 and they're treating me like I'm 12. I have them blocked on everything, we don't talk. They crossed a line and they get to face the consequences of that.
PeaceWolf has her mother blocked on almost every platform, except for Twitter, where her mother regularly tries to communicate with PeaceWolf and JSonFX to no avail. In one reply to JSonFX, her mother wrote, What PeaceWolf did was wrong. She learned from JSoneFX how to be a shit person. Prior to PeaceWolf knowing J&K, she was a good person with a big heart, but now she is just cold-hearted. Like you! In another thread, PeaceWolf's mother stated, "Her family will never turn on her. When this blows up, we will be there for her. We are just not going to accept this relationship like we did the last one. We gave into the relationship with Fox because she was determined to marry him. We tried to talk her out of it." Foxglove, meanwhile, was reinventing his social media presence to focus on inspirational Christian messages and how fulfilling he found fatherhood. Still, he would regularly air his grievances on Twitter. JSoneFX, you came into a woo and the FreeFurAll community like a wrecking ball and blew a giant crater in it, then started twerking all over its shattered remains. You are demonstrating that you intend to rule FreeFurAll or see it burnt to the ashes around you. Please, if there's any good and worthiness in you, show it by giving it into the hands of a good shepherd who will love and care for it. America's Anthro convention will never be ruled by a couple of home-wrecking, abusive, narcissistic Canadian. But Foxglove also noted, those with similar mindsets to me might be surprised to know that those bleeding heart libs have been just as, if not more concerned for my family's well-being as those family value conservative types. Around 9 p.m. on April 16, 2023, a mass email was sent to everyone on FreeFurAll's mailing list, though not by the AWOO Association. This is an important message about your registration for FreeFurAll. Our name is Blackjack. To those on the staff, and to all attendees of FreeFurAll, past and present, we regret to inform you that many on the board of directors have not been honest with you. Thanks to the efforts of many anonymous brave staffers, and the board member who grew a conscience, we have been able to gather enough evidence to prove the underhanded and criminal activity that took place. This has forced our hand, and we now present you with the evidence. This is the infamous board meeting from October of last year that PeaceWolf and company have kept from you and attempted to hide for months, and even fire many staffers to keep secret. Please, have a look. Included was a link to a Rumble upload of the meeting, which, in its entirety, lasts an hour and 17 minutes.
On the 21st, it was brought to the attention of the board of directors that both our guests of honor mysteriously vanished out of our Discord server. They were removed. It's something that we need to get rectified pretty quickly.
Actually, I'd like to take this opportunity to yield the floor to Fox to state his rebuttal to these allegations and give him an opportunity to speak on his own behalf.
You guys have been talking ahead of time, right? I assume
Yes,
Peace
we
was the one that
have.
brought stuff to you. Did she also tell you why it happened? So you're right. I should have brought it to the attention of the board that I removed them as an emergency moderation measure. I was very preoccupied with other things, as I'm sure you guys are aware. The reason that they were removed is because, as you guys know, the AWOO Association has no age restriction on its members. That means that members who, people who are associates have to be safe around people of all ages. Kate and Jason have recently been in our house, as you guys are aware. My wife is involved in an extramarital affair with them. My daughter had to witness those two people having sex with her mother. I did neglect to inform the rest of the moderation team of that action, and I apologize for doing that.
Okay, Peace. I know this is a difficult discussion, but shit. I know this is a little bit of a sensitive topic with both of you guys, but
I confirm that, yes, I was doing things in the bedroom across from my daughter with Kate and Jason. We were being quiet about it. We did attempt to take into consideration. I know it was distasteful to do so. I don't recall running away in the middle of the night.
Of course you don't, because you were too busy doing drugs and getting fucked to realize our daughter was in danger.
guys, I'm gonna say this once and only once. If this meeting devolves into a he said, she said,
Yeah, I got you, Mike. It's okay.
We're here to determine the nature of these allegations as they relate to Anthro West Open Organization. The details of your Though if your marriage in its current state can be dealt with in private.
I understand. In fact, I have a solution to this that I would like to propose for you guys that will be in the best interest of the organization. It was a way to reprimand what has happened. We are in the process of separation, it would seem. It's not my wish. I love my wife more than anything else, but that appears to be the case. And it appears to be a very hostile separation. It is, both of us are compromised. I have done a couple things that were not technically appropriate, not out of malice, but they were not proper. And I confess, and I do apologize for that. You're right. And likewise, Nicole is compromised because she's in an affair with our guest of honor and has stated in front of multiple witnesses that anyone who is against Kate and Jason is against her. And so she is not acting in the best interest of the organization either. Neither of us are. This conflict is going to tear our community apart. I don't want that to happen. It's been made very clear that it's going to come down to one or other of us. If that happens, it's going to start a civil war within the organization. That can't be allowed to happen. The only solution is until this conflict is resolved, both Nicole and I need to immediately resign as members of the board and staff members for FreeFurAll.
May I remind you, Fox, that the determination to remove board members is up to the entirety of the board. Not if you guys want to step down of your own volition, that's on you. But as we stated previously, Fox, with all due respect, you are in some very hot water right now. And that's what we're here to address. I strongly advise you to take these allegations seriously. And if you don't want to jeopardize your status with this organization, then with all due respect, stop wasting my time with conjecture.
The second point against Foxglove was that he had misappropriated funds from the Awu Association bank account, close to $200, for personal use. Fox states that he was shopping for groceries and other supplies for himself and his foster daughter. When he reached checkout, he noticed that his debit card was disabled, as PeaceWolf had withdrawn a large sum of money from their bank account. So, he used his Awu Association credit card to pay for his groceries, later refunding the money in excess through PayPal. This action put the Awu Association at risk of recourse from the IRS.
And it's not like we don't understand what you're getting at, Fox, but again, doing so could jeopardize the whole organization.
Yeah,
well, technically a felony, so...
No, it's not. It's not embezzlement because the funds were returned.
Yeah, it is. You need to understand how serious I'm taking this right now. I love this community. I've put my fucking heart and soul into this community, and I'm not going to let a marital feud destroy it.
I am 100% with you, Mike. If this is such a grave concern that that funds have been misplaced, can I ask, is there any concern over where the rest of the funds for the organization and for the convention's property is right now?
We've handled that already.
We have? I have not been informed. As far as I know, the entirety of all funds and all into an undy of one person without informing the board.
Actually, Fox, as somebody who helped move all of those items, I know exactly where they are. The board has discussed this.
The board did not discuss this. You discussed this. Did you guys have a private meeting without me to discuss it? Is that what you're referring to?
We have discussed, yes, we have discussed this, and as a majority, we agreed that that was fine.
So you called a meeting without including all the board members?
There was no meeting, it was a discussion.
It was a discussion that was brought up, and we went around.
It sounds to me like you guys have already stripped me of being a board member at this point. Is that the case?
Not officially, no.
I took $170 worth of things for just a moment before returning the funds immediately in excess. As far as I can tell, it does appear that the entirety of all funds and all property were seized without notifying the board. I feel rather ambushed here, like you guys are trying to treat me as if I've done something horrible when, by comparison, that's not anything.
You've put us in a pretty tight spot, for one, specifically with the misuse of funds, but let's circle back around to the your claim that they were fornicating out in the open in front of a minor, which Nicole has testified that is not true, that they took lengths to ensure that she was unaware of what was going on or did her due diligence in doing so.
Well, I know they attempted to.
Spent a lot of my teenage years listening to my parents fucking, but they never did it in my bedroom. What I've got right now is two conflicting stories, and I don't know who. At this point, I don't even know who's telling the truth.
If you'd like, I can get a statement from our daughter who witnessed it.
That's up to the board as to whether or not we want to hear him out. Or her out. My apologies. Might I mention, we had the opportunity last week to meet with them directly, and they went into extensive detail as to everything that happened. Nicole confirmed that their statement was correct. So...
Wait, what? You met with who and confirmed what was correct?
I'm all for myself, Lakota, Orion, and Anthony and Nicole met with Jason and Kate. Like I said, they gave an extensive account of everything that took place from directly after Free-for-All back in July. I can say with 100% confidence that I don't believe that they were a threat to the safety and security to anybody at that convention. Their use of psychedelic drugs is very heavily regimented and is strictly for therapeutic uses.
I don't care what they use it for. That's none of my business. I just care about them doing it around my kid. I'm just saying that you guys went around and discussed this with everybody except for me ahead of time. And I'm walking into a clearly prepared ambush here.
Yes, we acknowledge that we left you out of the discussion, not because of any personal vendetta, but for the sake of security. We needed to have a game plan put in place because, I mean, quite frankly, you've gone rogue on us.
The board breaks to discuss, leaving Fox alone for 10 minutes. When they return, Doom Guy puts it up to a vote to remove Fox, even though Fox had already tried to resign 3 times by this point.
Fox Reno, you are hereby dismissed from the board of directors.
You guys have known me for years. Other than when my life was in crisis, you know I always have, and I put more effort into this organization than anything else in my life other than my marriage. I understand how you guys feel. I'm a little disappointed that your faith in me is shaken so easily, but I understand. It's okay.
May I speak candidly, Fox?
Sure.
Over the last 2 weeks or so, what I've seen is somebody in a downward spiral.
Oh, you're not wrong. I am quite literally traumatized.
I didn't want to have to do this.
I understand. There is no good solution to this. I completely recognize that.
If it was just simply you guys arguing on the forum, we would have taken a much less drastic action with this. But
oh, I know.
You have to understand
it's very, very severe. I get it. I have a partner who is sabotaging me and my bank account and my daughter. I get it.
I believe that you can be a much better person than one you've shown us over the last 2 weeks, and I want to give you the opportunity to prove that. And
Can I
if
ask
you
what
do,
else I've shown you other than those 2 things?
your conduct in this meeting, for example.
Okay. Can I ask, you say that I can prove it over the next year. How is next year going to be different when it's been stated directly to me that anyone who is against Kate and Jason is against the chairman of the board? It seems as if that's not going to change anytime soon. It will always be me or peace.
I have no choice but to dismiss it as irrelevant.
It's relevant
Kate?
Because it means that the person who made that statement is not acting in the interest of the Wu Association, even if it would be in the interest of the Wu Association to bring me back to the board.
Kate and Jason are in good standing with Anthro West Open Organization. They have done nothing and said nothing that has jeopardized their standing with us. In the context of that statement, I'm inclined to agree with Nicole's fervence that anybody who stands against Jason and Kate stands against her.
On June 13th, PeaceWolf and Foxglove were granted divorce by the state of Oklahoma after reaching a settlement. On June 15th, Foxglove would celebrate his 29th birthday. The next day, June 16th, 2023, PeaceWolf would post a comic to her Twitter announcing that she was legally divorced from Foxglove. The comic was titled A Fox and His Lily, essentially a modern-day Reynolds pamphlet in furry comic form. The intention was clear from the first drawing, depicting PeaceWolf as a slender, conventionally attractive anthropomorphic wolf disgusted by the stereotypical, overweight, fedora-wearing neckbeard Foxglove.
I feel that the time has come for me to share my side of the story, to allow myself a voice and be heard after almost a year of gossip and rumors why our relationship soured and ultimately failed. I found myself in my very first online relationship at the age of 17. I had no identity to call my own and did not feel fulfilled in regards to the love and attention I was getting from my parents growing up. I rushed into a relationship with the first person that gave me the attention I craved. After 3 years of mostly online dating, I married in 2017. I learned that Fox had a mold for the perfect wife, planned out before we met, and did everything in his power to groom me into it. He had a fictional relationship of an illustrated woman named Lily, who is always pregnant, birthing children for him, does not work, is subordinate and unquestioning. Lily became my new pet name, and deviations from the fiction were quickly scolded. I realized that I was not loved for who I was, but was conditional based on the role I could play in a fantasy. Anytime I would engage in interest for myself instead of the things his Lily would be doing, he would get upset and complain. If I spent time with friends that did not play into his fiction, he would complain. There were whispers from concerned friends and family over the years, people telling me that Fox was not good for me. I was too naive to ever listen. Despite the loving front he would put on in public, behind closed doors, I was nothing more than a groomed trophy wife.
PeaceWolf details Foxglove's supposed fetishes, and describes their sex life as unsatisfying. She asserts that the start of her sexual relationship with Jason Effects in Cab's Corner was when she engaged in cuckolding roleplay for a considerable time with Foxglove's knowing consent.
Everything went as planned without drama or hostility, everyone seemingly having a great time. However, Fox grew jealous of the attention I was receiving and started showing his true colors in the second week, as his efforts to flirt with Cab's Corner were rejected. He alternated between extremes of crying on the floor to baking cookies and delivering them to the guest room door while myself, Jason, and Kate were engaging intimately. After witnessing domestic verbal abuse, Jason confronted Fox in the living room and put him in his place, while Cabs consoled me in the closet of my bedroom.
Foxglove refuted this claim. She promised she wasn't doing anything inappropriate. She was upset with me and wanted comfort from her friends. I was having a mental breakdown, trying to trust her but panicking of losing her. They gaslit the fuck out of me, saying I was the problem and needed to give them space. And I believed it all because my beloved said so. Well, it turns out they were just lying to fuck behind my back. So I panicked and tried to do whatever I thought would please her. I was absolutely broken and desperate and yes, also cringe. PeaceWolf then shares personal details about Foxglove, such as Foxglove's father being absent from his childhood. She also states Foxglove legally changed his first name to Fox, to match his persona, and to distance himself from his family. Following a 10-day visit from Jason Effects in Cab's Corner, PeaceWolf decided to leave.
Fox had been rapidly sending text messages to my friends and family that I was running away and being drugged and sex trafficked, that he was suicidal and was in serious danger of hurting himself and others.
PeaceWolf dismisses Foxglove's testimony as
a narrative of hysteria,
and
a grand conspiracy to steamroll any attempt to take my ring off.
She also attempts to invalidate Foxglove's Christian faith, claiming
Foxglove had little to no interest in religious beliefs prior to divorce. Fox would send a plethora of letters and phone calls that gradually transitioned from denial to threats, all of which I kept for safekeeping. Some of these threats detailed how he would never stop, would pursue me until death, and that if I leave, I would pay dearly and he would ensure suffering would come my way. He would then tweet how he loved me seconds later on social media. Fox took over my PeaceWolf fan Discord, hacked into my Twitch account during live streams, harassed my friends, and turned the convention domain into ransomware, among other attacks at my reputation. This escalated to hopping the security fence at my apartment complex and stealing my car on my birthday, going as far to break the wheel lock I had left on it despite already having a vehicle of his own. Fox then promptly drove the car out of state to harass another board member. Fortunately, a third party was able to record the confrontation, getting Fox's face and accomplice on camera, as well as photos of the stolen car and a restraining order. Fox did not appear in court, settled digitally, and did not sit in the same room for mediation. He tried to offer nothing. That offer quickly caved in the presence of lawyers, and he settled for almost all of my requests.
Foxglove's attorney appeared on his behalf in court. What PeaceWolf leaves out is that she did not appear in court either. Instead, both of their attorneys filed motions of appearance on their behalves, as there was only one hearing before the settlement. Though, court documents do reveal that PeaceWolf had her car returned to her as part of the settlement.
While it is a general rule of thumb to avoid rebounding after a breakup, I would like to emphasize just how much space J&K gave me after I moved into my own apartment. They encouraged me to do the things I used to love doing as a child. They bought me a drawing tablet, told me to chase my dreams of becoming an artist. They polished my Twitch stream, and they did 100% of this with 0 strings attached. They saved my life. I really wasn't living. They set me free to figure out who I really was. I hope Foxglove can find happiness and find the Lily he is searching for, and that he can move on from harassing myself, the charity, and my friends.
The comments under the initial publication ranged from shock to disgust to skepticism to support to morbid fascination, but the quote tweets were decisively negative. JSONFX resumed his role as PeaceWolf's defender. When faced with criticisms that a fox and his lily made multiple serious accusations and only provided irrelevant screen caps instead of evidence, JSONFX claimed, "There is a mountain of receipts, friend. 10 phone calls, 5 letters, police reports, pages and pages of text, emails, video recordings, 9 months of divorce proceedings, recording on stream, theft, etc." In response to a Twitter thread expressing sympathy for Foxglove, Jason replied in a Petersonian sense, "You have alpha and beta males. Most alphas are good. That's how they climb a dominance hierarchy and attract. Dangerous men are betas, who refuse to improve, become desperate, and resort to deceit like a snake." JSONFX was ratioed by a reply reading, "So by your definition, you are a beta." While Foxglove's exiling had fractured FreeFurAll's loyal followers, a fox and his lily was the final straw for those who were undecided, as disgruntled loyalists took to social media to air their displeasure with the situation.
"I will not be coming to FreeFurAll. It is no longer what I was working for, and neither is your community, or now fan base rather. I expect a full refund of my Maverick package. And finally, call your mother. She's worried about you."
When I think of PeaceWolf as a person, I mean, sure, I can find that kind of a story plausible. That you basically have this person who's kind of just a little girl in a grown woman's body, and she got caught up in this this bad marriage, and with this person who's kind of pushy and coercive, and so she did all these things that she really wasn't ready for, like adopting someone. I can believe all of that, but there's just one problem with that whole narrative, which is that if that's true, in what world is this person, Peace, in what world is she still qualified to be the chairwoman?
A fox and his lily went viral on Twitter, and eventually spread across the internet. The condensing of so many taboo subjects into a single 5-page comic was inherently sensationalist, and internet users latched on to the comic, remixing it into various memes, enough to garner a Know Your Meme page, and coverage from some notable YouTubers.
Now, this is the point where I would do some kind of one-liner or some kind of Breaking Bad reference, but it's just depressing. It's really depressing. And the fact that it all got aired out there in a tweet with an image like this, Twitter moment. That's what I'm going to call it. Twitter moment. So there are so many details that I've missed, but honestly, if I were to go over every single thing, the video would probably be at least 2 hours.
Internet users have taken to calling the comic Cookies, in reference to the page of Foxglove holding cookies as he is being cuckolded. Foxglove was blindsided by the comic. Quote, "Double take, triple take, eye bleach. Nothing will ever exceed furries for the ability to be both the weirdest and most dramatic thing in any room. Furry drama is freaking wild. Move over, Tiger King." In Foxglove's own circle, he received mixed but mostly positive support. Foxglove himself enjoyed the widespread memification of a fox and his lily. Responding to a user editing Neckbeard Foxglove into Tim Buckley's Lost comic, he wrote, "I am become meme, the bringer of eternal cringe. I'm really enjoying these memes, guys. Neckbeard Foxglove looks so sweet and nice. In all seriousness, thanks for helping find some good humor in the midst of this devastating situation. You gave me a smile in the midst of my loss." Despite the strong front Foxglove put forth, he was clearly hurt by a fox and his lily. He would refer to the comic as an attempt to kill him. He was particularly incensed by PeaceWolf referring to him as a groomer. Do you know what it means when a lying woman says you groomed her? It means you made her happy. It means you made her so happy, she attached herself to you gladly and willingly. Then for whatever reason, she changed, and found herself having to choose between her new desires and her wedding vows. And rather than take responsibility for her decision, she blames you! Because you made her so happy she married you. I didn't change, she changed. If anything, she tried to change me. She got me into all this furry shit. I found it weird and gross before. She said herself she attached herself to the first boy who gave her attention. She thought she could turn me into the perfect lovemaker, and when she failed, she left me. After the divorce, a donation page was set up by an associate of Foxglove on the Christian crowdfunding website Give Send Go. The campaign's description stated, "As many of you know, Fox has been going through the ringer. Between the drawn-out legal ordeal with his now ex-wife, the smear campaign that she and her seducers have been spreading online, and a series of surprise expenses, Fox is in dire need of our help. In no uncertain terms, Fox's family was absolutely decimated by his adulterous ex-wife and her seducers. The truth was on Fox's side, and by God's grace, many people began to see through the facade that they were perpetuating." Other efforts to support Foxglove's finances came from eBay, where Fox's associate Black Jack was auctioning off what they claimed to be the one-of-a-kind Cab's Corner original marriage-killing whiteboard drawing. Not only has it resulted in the destruction of a family, it has also, for better or worse, caused the likely demise of the infamous FreeFurAll furry convention that the duo were running together. Now you could be the proud owner of a piece of internet history. Some users claim to see irregularities between the Discord screenshot and the eBay listing, believing the auction item was a counterfeit. This theory was supported by Cab's Corner, who said, "Imagine painstakingly recreating the original cuckboard image, line by line, clear-coding it to have it immortalized, and trying to pawn it off for money. But he's not a compulsive liar, guys." 29 bids in, the whiteboard was attracting $130. 72 bids in, and 3 days later, the whiteboard was fetching $405, though it is unknown if it sold. Now well into her new relationship, PeaceWolf became the center of pornographic art by Cab's Corner.
The piece with Cab's Corner is reflective of our first time being intimate as a duo, which was scary at first considering neither of us had made love to another woman before, but the end result was bliss. True intimacy is terrifying because it's vulnerability. Most people mask who they really are to fit in. We've been conditioned that this is the way to survive. But the reality is, we need to be real with people or we go insane. I am very blessed to have these two in my life.
Through their viral stardom, the Polycule was still hard at work, preparing for FreeFurAll 2023, which would serve as the ultimate test of where the fallout from PeaceWolf's divorce left her reputation. In March, Crusader Cat found himself being escorted out of the Furthermore furry convention, having garnered a reputation as a neo-Nazi. For most of his time as a furry, Crusader Cat was a minor figure in the fandom, until his appearance at FreeFurAll thrust him into internet infamy for wearing the "Nazi Furries Don't Exist" t-shirt. Now FreeFurAll was the only convention left that would accept him, and he was refusing to attend. In May, FreeFurAll sent out an email to those on their mailing list.
We at the AWU Association have been working tirelessly to bring you a better convention experience after the massive success of FreeFurAll in 2022. We're excited to announce some big news and big changes. In collaboration with this year's guest of honor, Team Amorous, JSONFX, and Cabs Corner, the AWU Association will officially be merging with Team Amorous Incorporated on May 1st of 2023. This has been in the works for some time,
as we've witnessed how passionate and invested Jason and Cabs Corner have been in the future prospects of the organization. They will be working closely with our chairwoman, PeaceWolf, who has given her personal seal of approval in their involvement. Because of the merger, AWU was no longer a non-profit, which is the model that almost all furry and non-furry conventions run under. Team Amorous rationalized the decision by saying, "We were never married to the idea of following trends. Moving forward, we'll abandon the chains of what defines a traditional furry convention and trailblaze a new path forward, with Jason and Cabs leading the charge." The next update on the convention came in June, when AWU would blame their money troubles on a bad faith actor. While never named directly, it was clear AWU was referring to Foxglove, who was accused of running a targeted harassment campaign. It also claimed to be taking legal action against him for alleged fraud, extortion, doxing, and theft. At the end of the message, AWU confirmed to the Ranting Gryphon would not be returning because of a family matter. Twitter user Blackjack, who had been leaking information from the AWU staff Discord, alleged on Twitter that the con was having staffing problems. AWU/FreeFurAll had another staff meeting tonight. They have nothing to say, except how their staff are quitting and they can't get more. I guess nobody wants to put their hard work into a cause where the thanks they get is JSONFX turning their significant other into his personal fuck toy. Every meeting since the con, they have had to announce that they lost staff. That doesn't even count the people they killed off for their big cover-up. Oh, and they had to switch email and registration systems. They definitely had a data breach that they won't tell us about. It appears that FreeFurAll was either unwilling or could not get artists outside of the organizers themselves to provide art for 2023. While Cabs Corner covered the key art, the lion's share of promotional images were AI generated, with the images consisting of just crowds of horrifically deformed furries. In at least one case, they had used AI to directly plagiarize from furry artist Kale Tiger without their permission. By June, PeaceWolf was officially participating in the Furry Raiders group chat, and she was seemingly closer with the Raiders than ever, as the AWU Association and Furry Raiders had already partnered for 2023 and a possible new convention they were workshopping. Furry Raider Avira Nova was once again providing a large portion of funding. This time, to recognize his donation, they created a 2D cardboard cutout of his persona to be placed at the entrance, alongside cutouts of the guest of honors, JSONFX and Cabs Corner. JSONFX was working on his own promotions for the convention, even creating an anti-cancel culture animation called The Absolute State of Furry Conventions.
We would love to have you attend.
One registration, please.
Feel free to invite all of your friends. Everyone is welcome here.
Allow me to politely inform you, milady, that many of your guests have been cancelled by yours truly, and thus have been banned from having fun forever. Clearly, this means I should be in charge of this convention. My first act will be banning all attendees that ever disagreed with.
FreeFurAll's following had diminished, as many had sided with Foxglove in the divorce. With support decreasing, rumors began circulating that the convention was only expecting 115 attendees, half of the previous year's attendance, and that the staff had been reduced to only 25 people. Attempting to raise the numbers, JSONFX would go on the Furry Raiders podcast to ask for volunteers.
If you want to impress Big Daddy Green Boy,
Hello?
register early and possibly reach out to be staff.
FreeFurAll 2023 began on July 28th, once again hosted at the Glenpool Conference Center. For the full 3-day event, all but 3 panels were hosted by either FreeFurAll staff, such as PeaceWolf, JSONFX, and Cabs Corner, or a Furry Raider. The remaining 3 panels were promotions for Safari Sanctuary. StallionSlaughter returned to document the event, starting with the 2nd annual Furriety Show. One of the performers was a magician, who was largely suspected to have been hired to perform because they were too talented. There is photographic evidence of another unrecorded act. And finally, 2 separate performances by Magnus Deridian.
Die, Magnus! You don't belong at this con! It was not by my hand that I am once again giving registration. I was called here by furries who wish to pay me tribute.
Another notable event was 80s karaoke, but from the minimal video recording, it appears they were fine with anachronisms.
I never opened myself this way. Just the 2 of us. We can make it if we try. Just the 2 of us and Lakota. That's right. Just the 3 of us. Building vessels in the sky. Just the 4 of us. Because invited you and I.
The Furriety show was followed by the requisite Furry Parade, which culminated with a group photo, demonstrating that there was less than half as many fursuiters attending FreeFurAll 2023, and 50% of those in attendance were furry raiders. Unlike 2022, StallionSlaughter was not the only ironic attendee. He met a person clad in trans pride flags, with pronouns proudly on display, who was cosplaying Killa from the video game Escape from Tarkov.
When I first got to the con, I got out of my hotel room and I took a lift all the way to the con. But the thing is, I'd like to mention this real quick. On my way to the con, I recorded a little video of like these people having a little cookout, right? Gotta say, there was more people at a fucking family cookout than there was the people at FFA.
What happened when people saw you? Like,
they were definitely uncomfortable. Let me just say that. As much as they wanted to pretend they weren't, they were.
They were uncomfortable.
Really being transgender. And with the guy in the blue fursuit, you might have seen him. He didn't like the fact that I was wearing the transgender stuff. I was like, what the fuck? And I got on my phone, started recording. I asked him what I did that was wrong. Wait, did I do something wrong?
Yeah, we don't share those ideals. I personally don't.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, I thought it was just express yourself. That's why. I think this is when it struck him that he realized that this is when they realized that they're not getting any more attendees, so they fucking decided like give like lenience towards me because they'd be what was it called, the blue guy. He walked up to me and said like, I thought you were wearing this against anti-trans people, which makes no fucking sense. Like, why the fuck would I wear that and be anti-trans? Like, that makes no fucking sense. But anyways,
are you for or against?
For trans rights.
I thought because you had the word killer on it that you were advocating against trans rights.
No, I'm with trans rights. I thought you didn't like trans people, that's why.
No.
Oh, okay.
I do. I'm a part of that community.
Oh, okay.
Myself.
Oh, well, I've been told that you guys are not trans activists.
I don't do activism for anything.
Oh, okay. No, I heard that this place hates trans people, that's why. And anything that's minority, apparently.
While StallionSlaughter followed the Prime Directive, Killa acted as a trickster folk hero and would document several interactions with notable FreeFurAll staff.
Yo, Jason, we got a picture.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
All right. I'm with you. So how do you feel you're a yandere dev of the furry world, according to people?
I don't care.
Oh, I see.
Still gets me paid.
Oh yeah, $6,000 a month.
Yeah, I'll take it.
So yeah, this con is it's all right.
It'll grow. Give it time.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah. People are too scared of it right now.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah.
They'll grow some balls with time.
Is this the woman of the hour right here? Cabs.
Yeah, this is Cabs.
Yeah, hi.
I like the vibe that you're doing with your admin.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just have to make sure people know that trans rights exist.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that helps diversify the pick, right? It's like, oh, we hate these people, but fuck, he's got this going.
Yeah, exactly.
During PeaceWolf's Twitch Streaming 101 panel, Killa got the opportunity to ask a question.
I could be wrong about this, but have you gotten inspiration from one of the streamers, Dr. Disrespect, or somebody else? Have you gotten inspiration from Dr. Disrespect or some other streamer?
Have I gotten inspiration from other people?
Yeah, or Dr. Disrespect. I could be wrong about the first one.
I've heard of him.
Oh, okay. But after I said that, she tried to play it off like, oh yeah, I've heard of him and all that kind of stuff. But Jason, he was offended. He knew exactly what situation I was talking about when it came to the Mr. Doc. Because we all know that Dr. Disrespect cheated on his wife. So I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to fucking make the comparison.
2023's event had experienced an influx of trolling across the board. YouTuber and former supporter Panda the Man attended the event in disguise. At night, an anonymous attendee slid cards under the hotel room doors to promote the whiteboard auction. At the nightly rave, StallionSlaughter wrote, "People were being weird at the rave, TBH. No one really dancing except Cabs, Jason, and PeaceWolf. Attendees are just like following them three around and watching/taking pictures." He added, "The remaining attendees of FreeFurAll 2023 seem to regard these three as major celebrities. I would describe the actions in the video as analogous to witnessing the first dance at a wedding reception, where everyone clears the floor and they just watch." Foxler was in attendance again, as was his boyfriend, KodyWulf, who was hosting the Watering Hole game show. Slaughter Pony commented, "Watering Hole game show." 4 participants tried to guess flavors of soda. Neat idea, but the audience was just like, meh. They once again held a charity auction raising money for Safari Sanctuary, and giving the top bidder a chance to slam a cream pie onto the guest of honor's face. Jason Effects received $1,000. PeaceWolf $700, and Cab's Corner received $350. They ended up reaching their charity goal of $4,000.
Mr. TM Drake over there, congratulations on your award, and thank you for your charitable donation of $666.13. That is fucking metal.
For comparison, Tails and Tornadoes 2023 had 1,317 attendees, and raised $10,000 for the Animal Rescue Foundation.
Well, do you want to know what the actual attendees, ended up being?
I actually do, actually.
Okay. Supposedly, and I don't buy this for a second, but supposedly it was 77 people, which is literally half of what
That
was
is fucking cap! That is fucking, no, that's a fucking lie, I was there! What the fuck is that bullshit?
The most attention 2023's convention garnered from outsiders were memes made to mock its poor attendance. The Furry Raiders considered the event a success, and even made a music video, directed by KodyWulf. It was soon noticed that FreeFurAll had not reserved a spot at the Glenpool Conference Center for 2024, as the only events scheduled for that July are quinceañeras. Foxglove's foster daughter moved out on July 19th. Afterwards, Foxglove was open about his desire to start a family again, hoping to find a wife who was Christian, kid-loving, affectionate, mature female best friend for life. But he had self-doubts, believing, what quality person wants to marry a divorced guy? Yeah, I didn't go through a normal divorce, but nobody knows that, and I hate explaining it. I think of myself more like a widower, but it would be dishonest to say that. On June 28th, PeaceWolf was permanently banned from Fur Affinity, who told her that she was not a good match for its community. PeaceWolf had only been a member for 4 months, but this was unsurprising, as Jason Effects and Cab's Corner had lost their accounts earlier in the year, receiving the same generic message. PeaceWolf responded to the ban with,
"Get woke, go broke. This is how businesses, and by extension communities, die. Cowards."
FreeFurAll has been quiet on the social media front since August 2023, after announcing that 2024's convention would be cyberpunk themed. As of January 2024, PeaceWolf's Twitter bio notes that she is a retired con chair, leaving the future of the convention to the imagination. Attempting to fill the void left by FreeFurAll, Foxglove founded the furry campout Camp Uncancelable. Its first annual event was held at a state park near Tulsa, and attracted 11 other furries. Foxglove shared his thoughts on FreeFurAll's future. At this point, I don't think FreeFurAll can be salvaged. The general impression I get are that its members know something is deeply wrong, and can no longer deny, but they either don't understand or won't acknowledge what it is. I believe in forgiveness unless you fucked my wife, but I'm moving on. Everyone is. I will say one thing though. Peace remains one of the most capable humans I have ever known. With her master's help, she managed to accomplish the impossible, to do something the entire collective might of the internet could not manage. Bring free-for-all to its knees.